Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Islamic Sharia law. This is session number 123. In this session, inshallah, we are going to learn about the acts that are permissible during the fast. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The following acts are permissible for the fasting person: pouring water over oneself and submersing one's self in water. Abu Bakr ibn Abdurrahman reported from a number of companions that they had seen Allah's messenger pour water over his head while he was fasting due to thirst or extreme heat. This is related by Ahmad, Malik, and Abu Dawood with a Sahih chain. In the two Sahih of Al-Bukhari and Muslim, it is related from Aisha that the Prophet would rise in the morning on a fasting day and then would perform ghusl, a complete bath. If during the bath some water is swallowed unintentionally, the fast is still valid. Fasting, applying kohol or eye drops or anything else to the eyes. These acts are all permissible, even if some taste from it finds its way to the throat, as the eyes are not a passageway to the stomach. Anas reported that he would apply kohol while he was fasting. This is the opinion of the Shafi'ah. Ibn al-Munzir records some opinions from Ata al-Hasan, An-Nakhai, Al-Awai, Abu Hanifa, Abu Thawr, and Daud. It is related from the following companions: Ibn Umar, Anas, and Ibn Abu Awfa. According to At-Tirmidhi, nothing authentic has been related from the Prophet concerning this question. Fasting, kissing for one who has the ability to control himself. It is confirmed that Aisha said the Prophet would kiss and embrace while he was fasting, for he had the most control of all of you over his desires. Umar said, I was excited one time and I kissed my wife while I was fasting. I went to Prophet and said, today I committed a horrendous act. I kissed while I was fasting. The Prophet asked, what do you think of rinsing with water while fasting? I said, there's nothing wrong with that. The Prophet said, then what is the question about? Ibn al-Munzir says, Umar ibn Abbas, Abu Huraira, Aisha, Ata, Al-Shabi, Al-Hasan, Ahmad, and Ishaq permit kissing. The Hanafiya and Shafiya say that it is disliked if it incites one's desires. If it does not do so, it is not disliked, although it is better to avoid it. There is no difference between an old man or a young man in this matter. The question is whether or not the kiss excites one's desires. If it does, it is disliked. If it does not, it is not disliked, although it is best to avoid it. It does not matter if the kiss was on the cheek or on the lips, and so on. Touching with the hand or embracing follow the same ruling as kissing. Fasting, any type of injection. Injections do not break the fast, while they are for feeding the person or just medicine. It does not matter if the injection was intravenous or underneath the skin. It also does not matter if was injected reaches the stomach, as it does not reach the stomach through the customary manner that food does. Fasting, cupping to drain blood. The Prophet, upon whom be peace, was cupped while he was fasting. However, if doing this weakens the fasting person, it is disliked. Thabit al-Bunani asked Anas, did you dislike cupping for a fasting person during the time of the Prophet? He answered, no, we did not, unless it made someone weak. This is related by Al-Bukhari and others. Vivisection follows the same rules as cupping. Fasting, rinsing the mouth and nose. These acts are allowed in general, but it is disliked to exaggerate. That is, use a lot of water and put the water deep into the mouth and nose while fasting. Laqit ibn Sabra reported that Prophet said, exaggerate when rinsing your nose unless you are fasting. This is related by An-Nasai, Abu Dawood, At-Tirmizi, and Ibn Majah. At-Tirmizi called it Hasan Sahih. Scholars dislike using nose drops, that is, applying medicine through the nose while one is fasting, for they are the opinion that it breaks the fast. There is a hadith that supports their opinion. Ibn Qudama sums up the various opinions of this on the subject. If while gargling or rinsing the nose for the sake of purifying oneself, for example, for the prayer, water reaches the throat unintentionally and not due to the exaggeration, there is no problem. This is according to Al-Awza'i, Ishaq, and one statement from Ash-Shafi, which is related from Ibn Abbas, Malik, and Abu Hanifa, hold that it breaks the fast because that water reaches the stomach. If he was aware that he was fasting, it breaks his fast. And if he would have drunk as if he would have drunk intentionally, the first opinion is stronger, since the water reaches the throat without intention or exaggeration. It is similar to having a fly enter the mouth and proceed to the throat. That differentiates it from an intentional act. Those things which one could not protect oneself from, such as swallowing one's saliva, the dust of the road, sifting flour, and so on, are all overlooked. Ibn Abbas' ruling is that there is no problem with tasting liquid food or something you wish to purchase. Al-Hasan used to chew the walnuts for his grandson while he was fasting. Ibrahim also permitted that. Chewing gum, unless the one in vogue in the West, it has sweetness or fragrance is disliked. The gum must not break into pieces. Those who say that it is disliked include Ash-Shabi, An-Nakhai, and the Hanafiya, the Shafiya, and the Hanbaliya. Aisha and Ata permit chewing as nothing reaches the stomach, and it is just like putting pebbles into one's mouth, provided it does not break into pieces. If a part of it breaks off and enters the stomach, it will break the fast. Ibn Taymiyyah says smelling perfumes does not harm the fast. Enlarging upon the subject, he says, as for the kohol injections, drops dropped into the urethra, that is enemas for medicine purposes, that is enemas for medicinal purposes, and treatment of brain and stomach injuries. There is some dispute among the scholars. Some say that none of these break the fast. Some say that all except kohol would break the fast, while others say all except the drops break the fast, or that the kohol or the drops do not break the fast, but that the rest do. Ibn Taymiyyah continues, the first opinion on this question is preferred. The most apparent conclusion is that none of them break the fast. The fast is part of the religion of Islam. Both the layman and the specialist must be knowledgeable about it. If the preceding actions are forbidden by Allah and His Messenger to the fasting person because they would ruin the fast, then it would have been obligatory upon the Messenger to clarify that fact. If he had done so, his companions would have known about it and would have passed it on to the rest of the Muslims, since no one has related that, not from the Prophet, not with an authentic or a weak hadith, nor in mursal or musnad form, then it must be the case that such acts do not void the fast. He also says, if the ruling is one that would affect everyone or everybody, everyone or everyday matters, then the Prophet would have clarified it to a general audience. It is well known that kohol was in common use, as were oils, washing, incense, and perfumes. If they broke the fast, the Prophet would have mentioned them as he mentioned other things that break the fast. Since he did not do so, they belong to the class of the perfumes, incense, and dyes. Incense goes through the nose and enters the head and lands on the body. Dyes or oils are absorbed by the skin and the body is refreshed by it. The case of perfume is similar. Since these have not been explicitly prohibited to the fasting person, it points to the fact that using them is permissible for the fasting person, and so is kohol. The Muslims during the time of the Prophet would injure themselves, either from jihad or otherwise, and would injure their stomach and skulls. If that would have ended their fast, it would have been made clear to them by the Prophet. Since that was not prohibited for the fasting person, it must not break the fast. Ibn Taymiyyah continues, no one eats kohol and no one causes it to enter the stomach, neither through his nose nor through his mouth. Anal enemas are also not taken as food. Indeed, it helps the body to release whatever is in the intestine and does not reach the stomach. As medicines that is used to treat stomach wounds and head injuries that is taken orally is not considered similar to food. Allah says in the Quran, fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you. The Prophet, upon whom be peace, said, fasting is a shield, and verily Satan rushes through the body like the flow of the blood in the body. You should constrict his rushing by hunger and fasting to increase his Allah consciousness. A fasting person must not eat and drink because food and drink cause the veins to fill up with blood in which Satan circulates in one's body. They become easier for Satan through eating and drinking, not from enemas, kohol, or the medicines applied through the penis are used to treat stomach and brain injuries. Fasting, the fasting person can eat, drink, and perform sexual intercourse until Fajr. If someone has food in his stomach while Fajr is beginning, he should spit it out. If he is having intercourse with his wife at that time, he should immediately stop. If he does so, his fast will still be valid. If he continues in these actions at that time, he will have broken his fast. Al-Bukhari and Muslim record from Aisha that the Prophet said, Bilal makes the call to the prayer while it is still night. Therefore, eat, drink, and until Ibn Maktoum makes the call to the prayer. It is permissible for the fasting person to be sexually defiled in the morning. That is, a person is not required to perform ghusl before Fajr. The hadith from Aisha on this point has already been mentioned. Menstruating or post-childbirth bleeding woman. If the blood of a menstruating woman or of a woman with post-childbirth bleeding stops during the night, she can delay ghusl until the morning and still fast, but she must perform ghusl before the morning prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, hear this session about acts that are permissible during the fast, and let's all together very remorsefully and repentfully pray from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that may he bestow us with the sincere intention and resolve to learn commandments of Holy Quran and Siratul Nabi Hadith and Sunnah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May he grant us strength, wisdom, and courage to pass this benevolent knowledge to others and to apply it on our societies, countries, and world as a whole in letter and spirit 100%. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be our best guide and protector, and may He bestow upon us what is best suited for us. Ladies and gentlemen, please take care of yourselves, your kith and kins, and your environment as a whole. Inshallah, till next session. Allah Hafiz.